And then Charlene's going to do an invocation for us. So what I want to do is tell you what's happening next. I kind of already told you that, kind of what the process will be in finding a new minister and some of the things that are going to be going on. And also have our board just give you a quick little update and let you see them. They've been meeting on Zoom, so, you know, the board meetings are always open, but nobody comes to our Zoom board meetings, what can I say? And they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, especially during this time when we do not have a senior minister. We're just, you know, moving forward. So I'm going to invite Charlene to come on up. Do you want to use the mic, love?
I don't think so. You can hear me, right? I'm good. I just let it sing all of us. Let's come together with a breath as light and comfortable and breathe into ourselves. As we begin this time together, this sacred gathering, knowing God, present, within, without, the love that is forever expressing itself, form, all that is known and all that is just waiting to be birthed and to be realized with God in action. And so I know that I am divine emanation of God. And as I know this for myself, I know this for each beloved here and everywhere. Unique emanations of God and Spirit. Living, working, laughing, loving. And so I bless this time together as we explore our next happening. As we listen to the divine urge and feel the quickening in our souls of something being born, being revealed for our next and highest and greatest good. And how exciting that is to know that we are on the precipice of this next great ammunition that is CSLTV. And so I bless each of us here. I bless this time. I know it is good and very good. And so I just place it on the altar and allow it to be. And so it is.
And so it is. That was beautiful. Thank you. Wow. You're awesome. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what's next. First of all, I'm your interim minister, and so my job is to, stop and think, to work with the board, the practitioners, the volunteers, the committees, the staff, Cecilia, and the musicians, to just, I'm actually stepping in as spiritual leader in the interim ministry. And some of the things that the work of interim ministry includes is creating an opportunity for any healing that needs to happen. Sometimes when a minister leaves, there's sadness, there's grief. Sometimes when a minister leaves, there's hooray, we got rid of that one. You know, so one of the things I'll do is create an opportunity for healing circles. Not this coming week, but next week. And my plan is that on Tuesday evening and probably Friday midday or morning, I will just set up Zoom calls. They'll be done on Zoom. So if you're interested in, I'll put that out, broadcast it on our email that we send out every week. So you can just click the link and come on in if you want to. And it will be just a time of sharing. We'll create a safe and sacred space for you to say what's on your mind, whether it's questions, just talking about how things are in your life, but also what's going on with you in relation to this transition, you know, and what are your expectations. So healing circles, another thing we'll do is called the conscious creation process. And it will be 2 Sundays, the end of September, after service in this room, probably 3 hours each. It's a lot of work. We really want all the leaders in the community to be there, because what the process is that we look at what's working, what could be better, what's in our consciousness and what we want to be in our consciousness, and we create a vision for your new minister. It's actually a covenant that then we read every Sunday. So we all continue to live that vision for the new minister. So be thinking about that, and if you want to be part of that, let me know. It'll be live, you can just come, but we'll be announcing and letting you know about that. I want to tell you about the process of that we're going to go through to get the new minister. Some of you have already been through this, you know all about it. But the first step is that the board will appoint a selection committee. That's according to your bylaws. And so if you're interested in being on the selection committee, it's a lot of work. I'm going to tell you what they do before you even decide that you want to be on it. We will interview you to see if you really have the time and the talent. No, you're all talented to be on that committee. But the committee is usually maybe a couple people from the board, at least one practitioner, maybe more, and members of the community that aren't any of those things. So we want a diverse group to help do the work that the selection committee does. And here's what they do. If a minister wants to apply to be your new minister, they send their resume and a packet and a link to a talk or talks so you can check them out. The selection committee, so they have to go to home office, those packets, because only approved Centers for Spiritual Living ministers and Unity ministers may apply here. Unity ministers would be required to affiliate with Centers for Spiritual Living, but we have an agreement with them, so their ministers could apply here to be your new minister. They have to take some classes, so they're pretty close, but not the same. So the work is you review all these packets that come in, you watch the videos, you collaborate on two big projects. One is a profile that is posted on Home Office's website. Only ministers can see this that are qualified. And it describes this community, the activities we have, the practitioners, the count, how much we're going to pay. It also describes the surrounding area, what it's like to live here in this area, what it costs to live here, what the demographics of this area are. So it's actually quite an extensive document. It has a bunch of questions we have to answer, but we create it with beautiful pictures and something that appeals to all the ministers out there so they want to come here. And so it's a fun job creating that. The other thing is we create a video. That's new since 5 years ago. And the video, once again, highlights the center, pictures of people, pictures of activities, pictures of the area. And then, somebody's talking, it's a video. So those are going to be big projects. So if you want to be on the selection committee, be ready to work. Bring your creative juices, your talents and skills in filmmaking, editing, writing. All the candidating packets come in through Home Office. The selection committee reviews those and chooses your top 3, maybe 4 candidates, only the good ones. And then we invite them. The selection committee has so much work to do. They invite them for a candidating weekend. I like to see us do weekends all consecutively, because if we have someone speak once this month and once next month, we kind of forget the first person that came to candidate. So we like to have them pretty close to each other, but it's a lot of work because we're going to host the candidates. So they go out to dinner with the board or the selection committee or the practitioners, but they'll meet with the board, the selection committee, the practitioners, and find out how it would be to work with this person. That candidating weekend starts usually Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. Sometimes there's a tour of the area. Somebody needs to host this person. We will pay for some of their expenses. We will pay their expenses for travel. The selection committee and the board decide what kind of financial commitment they want to make to that. And then on Sunday, they give a talk. Usually there's something like a potluck or a social time to go connect and say hi. And then that candidate will do a workshop in the afternoon, usually just like a 2-hour workshop. So you can see how they are as a facilitator, as a teacher, how they connect with you. After the candidating weekends, when you have all the candidates, you've seen them all, the whole community votes to choose the one they want. So we need to have a special meeting. It needs to be announced 45 days ahead of time. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, but that's not always the same in every community. Sometimes the selection committee chooses someone and then offers it to the board and the community. But so you get to choose, you get to vote. It's your responsibility. Then the board has to negotiate a letter of call or contract. How much are we going to pay you? Although we've announced what we expect to pay, but in the final end, there's some things. How much for classes? Are we going to pay any health care? Are we going to do anything for retirement? There's a lot of questions that the board will need to be involved in and see if we can negotiate a contract with the person you choose. And I know that when Reverend Catherine was chosen, it was like slam dunk. She's the one we want. I don't know how many, you had several candidates here. So you're going to have the same probably experience. You'll know who it is. And everybody will be loving who your new minister is. So that's what's coming, and that's how it works. And I'm here to help you walk through all of that. Right now, I'd like to have our board members come to the front. Those who are here, I want you to know that we have. Hey, come on up here. You're gonna pass this mic around. 2 of our board members are out on vacation. It's summer, so you know what a time to have this happen, right? I'm going to ask them to share their position on the board, their name, their position on the board. He's standing behind me. I saw that. You can't hide. And something you might not know about them. It's always so fun to kind of get that little personal connection, right? And Craig is also, I shouldn't say your name. You're going to say it. So we have the vice president of the board here today, and he's going to start. The president is Pat Clark, and she is on vacation. And Jim Willis is not here today either. He is living in the mountains where there's no internet or anything. So here you go.
Morning.
Is it on? Might not be on.
I think they can hear me.
Can you hear him? Okay, I see nodding in the back.
Okay.
No, they said you could hear you.
Oh, okay.
Go for it, loud voice.
My name is Craig Hurst. I'm on the board. I'm the vice president, and I know a great many of you. I've been a member of the church for a long time. Something you probably don't know about me, when I graduated high school, that summer I worked on a square rig sailing ship in Hawaii for 3 months. As part of the crew, as a sailor.
Okay, let's use the mic because I heard noise when he was holding it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Charlene Kustner. I'm a practitioner here and a ministerial intern. I'm the secretary right now. And something you don't know, I'm like, what don't you know about me? I'm usually really good at stand and deliver, but this one I'm trying to think thoughtfully. I really like to do needlework, and I like 80s rap.
Okay. 80s rap. That went by fast. I love it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Donna Winkler, and I'm the outgoing secretary of the board. My husband Clive and I and Dougie are moving to San Diego, so we'll still be coming to the center quite frequently, but this was an honor. I learned so much, but just can't do it all right now behind the scenes, and you'll see me at service. Something you do know about... Sorry. Maybe I'll hold it. Something you do know about me, turn it off? No. Okay. Is that Clive and I have volunteered for 10 years for Guide Dogs for the Blind. And we raised Doug back after he did 7 years with his blind partner in Atlanta. So he got to retire early, and he's Clive's guide now. Clive's not blind, but he helps, Dougie and him help each other. And some of you met Newman, who we raised. Don't know is that 40 puppies in Colorado and here. Now, mind you, sometimes it's a week at a time, sometimes 2. It's not full time, but boy, the joy they bring. 40 puppies. And the most dogs we ever had at once in our home was 5. That was fun. Would I want to have 5 dogs all the time? No, but it sure was a fun week, right, Clive? So.
Just nod your head.
Hi, my name is Don Taylor, and I am the treasurer of the board. There's something that you don't know about me is my wife and I were introduced to each other by my brother and her sister who were dating each other. And they broke up in high school, and she and I got married. We've been married 57 years in September.
Don't go away. I want to say first a big thank you to Donna for her service as secretary. So thank you, Donna. What a gift. And thank you to Charlene for stepping update for us.
You guys can go sit down. Reverend Sharon asked me to explain what it is to, and I was trying to make a list, and then it occurred to me we had a meeting Thursday afternoon on Zoom, and it's the agenda. And I looked at it and I go, yeah, this is pretty much what we do. No details, but just to give you some idea of what board members do. Call to order, blah, blah, blah. First thing we do is a financial report. Don always prepares a great report. We look at where all the money is coming in, where it's going, and try to figure that out. It's an interesting thing. I'm sure all of us have worked with budgets, either on personal businesses or just your own personal finances. And one thing that I learned, I was the treasurer for many years. Thanks, Don. And one of the big, huge differences about being a treasurer here in a church and doing your own is, when you're doing your own, even if it's a business, you're pretty sure at the end of the month how much money you got coming in. You either have a pension check, a paycheck, week in, week out, Social Security, I mean, whatever that amount is, it stays fairly constant, so in your mind, you can figure out exactly how much you need to spend or don't spend. One of the things I found out really quickly in a church setting, you have no clue how much money is coming in every month. It differs. During the summer, it tends to drop because people don't come. Sometimes during the holidays, people are feeling generous and give more, but it's really hard to establish a real budget where you say, okay, we're going to have this much money this month, and we're going to spend this much. And what happens is sometimes we get involved. We say, hey, you know, we need to buy so-and-so, and we're going, well, you know, we've got this money coming in, yeah, let's go ahead. And we spend some money, and then for 3 months, that money doesn't come in anymore for some reason. So we really, really encourage people to get on an auto pay type system. We have auto tithe here at the church. You can give a credit card number, get the same amount of money, comes out once a month, twice a month, however you want to work it out, and it really makes it so much easier financially for all of us on the board, but I know Don would really appreciate it. Anyway, we talk about a tithe report. We tithe just like we ask people to do. We tithe back to the mother church in Denver, and we also tithe almost exclusively to local organizations here. My favorite is the Santa Rosa Plateau Nature Education Fund, which I'm a member. I encourage that we give money to them. That's a great, I don't know if you have not been to the Santa Rosa Plateau, you're really missing out. It's a 10,000-acre nature reserve, and it's just west of Marietta, about 4 miles. It's really close, and it's amazing how many people just don't even know it's there, and it's really cool. Anyway, we've given to some other elements here in town. I can't remember the name of the women's group that we give to, Michelle's Place. Yeah, we donated them quite a bit. And occasionally we hear of other churches that are in dire need. There was a church, I believe, up north somewhere that got rained out and flooded out. We sent them some money. So this is the type of thing we do with your money through the church, tithing back to the community, because that's where our money comes from. We talk about attendance. That's important. We want to know how many people are here, what the trend is. Lately it's been up, so that's good. We have liaison reports from our marketing team, facilities team, men's group, women's group, youth and family. We talk about them. We're really wanting to get a youth program started up again like we had on McCalby. We have the ambassador team that greets us every day, gets the food out for us, and just makes us a much more pleasant experience, especially after service. We have a practitioner update. Reverend Sharon, in this case, talks about what the practitioners are doing. We have a report from the diversity and inclusion update, hospitality, music and sound. Sounds like we're going to have a talk about our sound. And then an education update as far as what types of classes may be offered in the future. We discuss those. Old business this year, we talked about fundraising. Once again, at the beginning of the year, our Gourmets for God in the past has always been a pretty big deal. I know most years we've had 10, 12 different people that have offered to put on events. This year's were only 6. So obviously our fundraising money is not going to be quite where we expected from that. So we talk about that. Talk about a coordinator schedule. You may not realize it, but one of the board members is the coordinator each Sunday. Today it was me. Put the flags out. I just put the flags away. Make sure the chairs are set up. Of course, Zach does a great job of that. Thank you very much. And before we leave, make sure the air conditioning's turned off, everything's locked. Different teams, hospitality team, see if they need anything. Anyway, people will be given the opportunity to actually join and become a member of the church. New business we planned for today. Who's going to business creation process that Reverend Sharon talked about. We set some. That's pretty much what we do. So anybody have a question about that? That's pretty much what we do. So anybody have a question about that? Cool.
Thank you, Greg. That was very good.
So, if you're interested in being on the board, we do have a vacancy. We could appoint, the board would appoint someone to finish out the term, Donna's term. So let us know. You hear what we did now. I'm going to invite the practitioners to come up now. I'd like you to just meet them because they are the healing arm of our church. They are the ones who pray and know the highs for anybody that asks. Oh, we're here.
So I'm going to ask you to share.
We love our stoves, they're just hot.
I'm going to ask you to share how long you've been a practitioner. If you'd like, you can share how long you've been in the church or in the religious side. So go ahead and tell us when you're baptized. Just that, how long you've been a practitioner, or maybe how long you've been here. And then something they don't know about you. I'm going to start with Charlene. Oh, God. You got to think of something else.
I can't, I don't know if I could do that. Okay, Charlene Kustner. I've been with Centers for Spiritual Living since about 2004. Practitioner since 2015. And now, pretty soon, a minister. So I will be doing my licensing and my oral panels probably in February of next year. So I like to roller skate very much. And I have not roller skated since June 4th, 2021, because I had a pretty bad fall. And so I'm going to get back out. I'm thinking it's going to be like October and in a rink where I'm safe, somewhat safe. But I'd love to roller skate.
Thank you, Charlene. My name is Julie Nims. I'm a practitioner emeritus, which means mostly I don't have to keep track of all those hours.
You earned it.
No, I've been a practitioner I was trying to figure it out, I think 35 years now. Once I found religious science, it opened up a world to me that I didn't know existed. And it changed my life, absolutely. I love everyone unconditionally, and I can say that now. I don't always like everyone, but I love everyone, and there's a big difference there. So I'm here to serve you, and I love that our center's beginning to grow again.
Was that something we don't know about you, that you love
What do we
everyone?
know about you?
Is there anything else?
I don't know. I don't know what you know about me. Some of you know, and this isn't a great thing. My daughter passed away this year, and it's been tough. And those are things that, even being a practitioner this many years, I had to really look at inward. So that's what I've been doing this year. And so you won't always see me in the chairs. Some Sundays I can, other Sundays I can't. But you deserve a practitioner who can give you that undivided attention. And when you see me in the chairs, I'll be ready. So that's where I'm at now.
Hi, I'm Sharon Hudson, Reverend Dr. Sharon. But you can call me Sharon. You don't need to call me Reverend Sharon. You don't need to call me Reverend. You can call me Sharon, unless you're introducing me. And then you should say, if you're up here, you should go, and now Reverend Sharon, okay? So I've been in Science of Mind since I was about 12 years old. And I was in a teen group in a large church in San Diego when I was a teenager. And this teaching, of course, created a fabulous trajectory for my life. It's amazing. I've also been a minister for 27 years. And I love it. I love this philosophy. I love serving, and I'm happy to be with you. And I'm also part of the practitioner corps, because as a minister, I'm a practitioner, and I'll talk more about how wonderful they are in a minute. Oh, something you don't know about me. I have a whole list. But I'm going to just pick one. I used to teach piano.
You teach piano?
I used to when I worked my way through college teaching piano at a piano studio. I didn't just teach it in my home. I actually went and I taught musical arts classes. We had drama, we had cool stuff, and I also taught hands-on beginning piano. It's great.
That's nice to know. Not that I'm going to take any lessons from you.
No.
I don't have a piano. I am Mary Russell. I'm a practitioner here, and I first got introduced to Centers for Spiritual Living driving down 163 in 1983. I heard this voice come over radio saying, there is a power in the universe and you can use it. And I said, oh my God, that's what I believe. Now I'm 40 whatever years old, and I said, I got to find that place. And of course, well, I was moving to Hawaii, who knew? But there was a place in Hawaii, Helen Street, Paredes. Oh my God, she was spectacular. Yes, so I went there for 2 years, and then I moved back to Boston. Anyway, enough of that. Anyway, I became a practitioner in 2016, I think. All those years I was in, I hate to say this, but I never had a session with a practitioner. I didn't need it. I was in charge. I knew how to fix myself. Isn't that ridiculous? But anyway, I finally got one with Debbie Hahn, I think was my first practitioner session, and she was wonderful. And that's wonderful. And now we as practitioners have, set up so we talk to each other and do prayers for each other, so which is a wonderful thing. Something you may not know about me, I really like to work behind the scenes. This is not my cup of tea, but here I am anyway. So that's it. So bear with me.
Don Taylor, once again. I grew up in Texas, and I grew up in a Southern Baptist church. And I had never heard of religious science. I had a friend in Massachusetts who, he and I talked philosophy all the time, and I told him about my searching and dissatisfaction with my past religious life. And he said, you should try this church. I don't even remember what it was. But I went to a church here. There were only about 12 people there. And there was a guy visiting like we were. And he said, the church you're looking for is in San Diego. And so we waited probably another month. And I said to the wife, let's go and find that church. So we went, I got online and looked it up, and what I thought was the church. And so we went there. And that first Sunday, I thought, this is strange, but I kind of like it. And we kept going, and it was about a month after we started. And I was telling this practitioner the story, and he just cracked up, started laughing. And I said, what are you laughing about? He said, this isn't the church. He said, the church that you're looking for was Reverend, I can't think of the lady with the Unity Church in San Diego. He said, but God sent you here, so you're at the right place. So we went to church there for 5 years, and every Sunday, the whole Sunday was blown because we go to San Diego to church, and then we get out and have lunch and maybe stop at a store shopping. And by the time we got back up here, it was 4 or 5 o'clock. So we said, there's a church right in Marietta. Why don't we go there? And so we came over here when you were in the candidating process for a new minister. And we voted, okay, on Reverend Catherine. And so we came here at the same time she did. And that's how I know how many years I've been here. She often talks about 8 years, so I've been here 8 years. And then 5 years before, so 13 years. I became a practitioner about 3 years ago, and I love it. I could go on and I'll stop, but once I became a practitioner, I really found out who I am, and I really realized that I didn't know who I was all of those years, and this has been wonderful for me. And been wonderful for my wife, too, because once I found out who I was, it made it easier on her. So I love it here. I love the practitioner. Something else you don't know about me, we lived in the city all of our married lives, but I'm truly a country boy. I grew up in the country in Texas, walking behind a couple of horses pulling a plow. So I'm a country boy.
Yes, what an act to follow. I'm Reverend Michael Summers, and I discovered this church through a 12-step program. 3 people said, you got to come to my church, and I resisted until I realized maybe God is talking to me. So I went to the church on June 23rd of 1991 in Fullerton, and it changed my life. I found something I had been looking for all my life, and I jumped right in. I took the classes. I became a practitioner in 94. And one of my teachers is standing right on the stage there in the red hair, Julie Nims. She was one of my teachers. Let me see what else. Okay, so then I went to ministerial school. I graduated in 99 and had the Hemet Church for 3 years. And then I went up to Fallbrook and was interim there for a while until they chose a minister, so I've been through the process a while. And, but I retired because it was like running a church is hard work. It really is. And I already retired from one job working for Kimberly-Clark for 35 years, and I became a minister, and I love it, and I'm a staff minister here. I'm still retired, but I'm a staff minister because I want to help out. That's one thing I love about this is I want to share it. I mean, and I want to live it, and that's what I do. And it has changed my life, and it continues to brighten my life. So I enjoy being here. I enjoyed Reverend Naughty, and everyone knows about Reverend Naughty. Yes, Pat, yeah. And then I discovered Reverend Lovely, which was Reverend Catherine. And now I'm going to discover someone else. And I'm looking forward to the process. But I have a wonderful interim minister, and she was in the class ahead of me. So we were we were learning, and it was good. It was good. So one thing you don't know about me is that I married these people's daughter in Temecula. Yeah. So it's like we go back a while too. And it's been, life is so good, and it's so full of divine surprises, and I'm still being surprised there all the time. And I just love it. So life is good, and I'm open to more good. And here's our terrific interim minister.
Thank you, all you practitioners. Go ahead and take your seat. Yay. They are available to you for, well, I like to call it rent a consciousness. If there's anything you want to change in your life, see a practitioner. I'm just like who shared that? I think it was Mary. I didn't go to a practitioner session until I was studying to be a practitioner. And I got to tell you, it knocked my socks off. It was amazing. So take advantage of them. They're great. I was going to say we had 6 here today. We have, counting, 15 practitioners. So you're just getting a little sample of what's available. Anybody have any questions or comments right now? We're almost done. Yes.
You say the process for picking the new minister won't start then until October, until after this September?
Well, the process is starting now because it's going to take time. I'll tell you, I've just been serving at Apple Valley, and it took them, I started in June last year, and it wasn't until October that we got our video done and our profile done and agreed on dollars and all of that. And some of it is just having that time of rest before you have to choose. So, and I would like to have scheduled our conscious creation process sooner than the end of September. It would have to have been the first 2 weeks in August, because I'm actually here then. But that seemed a little soon to notify people to come. And then I'm actually gone to Montana for a couple weeks, so that's why we're not doing it. But But it's fine. I think that we need to do some healing work, and by then we'll all be ready and be on the same page. We'll have the energy up and services going. Thank you for asking. And I agree with you. It seems long, but it's a process. We're hoping you'll have candidates and choose someone by the end of November. Reverend Catherine started on December the 5th, I think she said, so let's look at that. That's how long my letter call is. I think it's for 5 months. It can be extended and it can be shortened. If you get someone before that, I'm out of here. So I'm looking forward to that. Yes? Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mentioned that they would probably do a 2-hour workshop after service on Sunday. Yeah, and maybe have a potluck or some way to socialize between. Food's always good on Sunday. Yeah, thanks for asking. No worries. Anything else? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, in many churches, the community does not vote, and the selection committee uses those we'll still use evaluations. The selection committee will be looking at them, and maybe the board too, just to get a feel for where we're going, where we're heading. Is everybody on the same page? Or how was this person? Is there any red flags? So we'll still have those evaluations. But because you vote, it'll be up to the selection committee how they use them and if they want to give you any feedback about it. I'm not going to make that up. But great question, yeah. Anything else? Yes, Donna.
I just wanted to talk briefly about considering joining the board. It was a great experience for me. We learned a lot behind the scenes. Like Reverend Michael said, there's a lot to like church. I got to feel more centered and close to the community. And most of all, I made lifelong friends with the board members. So it's an honor and privilege to thank you all for considering the chair.
Thank you, Donna. That's a great, and you know what? This is an amazing board, wonderful to work with. And the board meetings, I have to tell you, Reverend Catherine told me they're usually about an hour long, and that was my experience this week. Wow. Because some, centers have 2-hour board meetings or more. Of course, we're going to be meeting every other week or something just to get going here. There's a lot to talk about. The other thing that hasn't been mentioned is education. I think education classes and workshops are huge. And so Charlene is going to be getting information from people that want to do workshops after Sunday services, and she and I are going to collaborate on what are we going to do for certificated classes this fall, because that is how we get to know each other. We really bond in those, and we also transform our lives, right? Practitioners, I think that is darn good. So I just want to say a big thank you to all the people that help serve this community. I mean, we have Bonnie and Nancy, now I know the right name, and doing our gourmets for God and hospitality, and just thank you to each one of you who do things here. Anything else from anyone? Oh, Cecilia. Thank you, Cecilia. She's amazing. I'm just getting to know her, but she thinks about what needs to happen, and she's always pointing me in the right direction, and I'm blessed. She's fabulous as your administrator. Great administrator. We're really lucky. So, all right. Anything else anyone want to say? Oh, thank you, Craig.
No, just take a second. No, you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you knew this or not. It's something she didn't tell herself. She was getting ready to retire. And she decided that we really needed some help here. She was here before and got us through some interesting times prior to this. So I just really want to thank her. She's a wonderful lady and a wonderful minister, and she's really going to help us get through this. So thank you.
I got to tell you, when Barbara Bew from Home Office called and told me that I already knew from Reverend Catherine that she was going to retire, but she said, you know, I'm not going to ask you. And Catherine said, I'm not going to ask you, but you're close. Would you consider it? And I wasn't sure, because I like to spend time with my husband, and I haven't seen him much this week. I've been working so much. You wouldn't believe all the things that happen behind the scenes. Being a minister is a lot of work. Absolutely, Michael. And I'm also still serving part-time a little bit for the Apple Valley Church. So I'm meeting with, this week I met with their practitioners and did a lot of stuff. So thank you. And you know what? When someone else from home office called me and I listened, and she was almost on her, I swear she said, I'm on my knees begging you. But something happened and I just got the call. This is my community. I should come here. And you're a lot closer than Apple Valley. So I'm thrilled to be here. And as I told my husband, honey, I love what I do. I'm just going to have to do it a little longer. And I'm also really good. I tell him that I'm really good because I believe in myself. You know, my minister decades ago, oh, thank you. You guys are good. My minister, Brian Anderson, many, many years ago said, he said, I go home and I listen to my talks, and I love them. He said, we should all love what we create. And I've kept that in the back of my mind. And so I kind of like what I do. And I think it's okay. And I think that's it. Anything else from anyone? All right, I'm going to just do a little quick power charge up to go home. So just tuning back into the power of the presence, the divine life that is our life, I just know that there's a dynamic, energetic movement toward greater good for this community, that we together are drawing from the community all those who really deeply hunger and thirst for what we have to offer, that we are a radiant light. We are shining the light of truth. We are seeing the divine in all as we go forth today, and we shine our own light. We know who we are. We love who we are. We deeply accept who we are. Life is good. The center's growing. We're attracting the perfect new minister, and so it is. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Yay. Over and out, and thanks to you online.